March 23rd, 2:35 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 3. Hey everybody, Luigi369 here. Welcome back to Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Justice for All. This is the final episode. This is it. The last one. I think. There shouldn't be a third segment of this trial. Why would there be? Court will now reconvene. I assume both sides are ready. Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. I can understand the defense acting like this. However, why do you also seem distraught, Mr. Edgeworth? It's nothing, Your Honor. What's wrong with Edgeworth? It looks like something unexpected just happened to him. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you could please tell the court the results of the handwriting analysis on Miss Impact's suicide note. Yes, Your Honor. Unfortunately, we have discovered that this suicide note is a forgery. What? What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This note was not written by Miss Impact herself. It is a fake. Order! Mr. Edgeworth, would you care to explain what is going on? If this was not written by Miss Impacts, then who wrote it? We would need more time to do a more detailed analysis. However, it appears that the handwriting matches that of the victim, Mr. Juan Carita. Mr. Carita? Well. It looks like Miss Impacts never left a suicide note after all. She never wrote anything about Unguard. However, Your Honor, even though this suicide note is indeed a fake, Mr. Unguard could not have known that, and so that fact remains unchanged. Acting under the assumption that it was real, he had plotted to possess it. That does sound very plausible. This theory that Unguard had no idea that the suicide note was fake. Something seems a little wrong with it. The defense believes that the theory the prosecution has stated contradicts testimony. If everything the prosecution has proven up to this point is true, then it's impossible for Mr. Unguard to not have known it was a fake. I'm actually not sure. Is it the camera? What is this little item called again? A video camera, Your Honor. Well, a very small one, but... Oh, that's right, a camera. You kids and your fancy toys nowadays. Mr. Edgeworth, earlier you claimed that Mr. Unguard knew of the existence of this note because he was spying on the victim. Isn't that right? If that were true, then this means Mr. Unguard would have known that the victim had forged the note. So then the defendant knew this suicide note was a fake. And if that's true, then the situation has suddenly changed in a very dramatic way. Exactly, Your Honor. The prosecution's theory as to what Mr. Unguard's motive for murder was, it has suddenly disappeared into thin air. But, Your Honor, it's not as if Mr. Unguard monitored Mr. Carita's room 24 hours a day. Perhaps the victim wrote the note in a place Mr. Unguard didn't know of. Well, right back at you, Mr. Edgeworth. Why don't you show us some proof that the victim made the forgery at an unknown place? Order! Mr. Edgeworth, it looks like this time it is you who has dug his own grave. As I figured. Huh? As you figured? As I figured. It came down to this after all. Mr. Edgeworth, you're not making any sense. When I heard the results of the handwriting analysis, I thought this might happen. The question is, what next? What next? If the prosecution can't prove Mr. Unguard's motive through the evidence, then we must prove it from another angle. Well, I agree with you there. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to call a witness to the stand at this time. Oh, well, that's fine. However, this witness is a little unusual. Edgeworth's stuttering. This is not like him at all. Unusual? Well, what sort of witness is this person, Mr. Edgeworth? This witness is one who is perfectly fit to answer once and for all the question of who was it that hired Shelley DeKiller to commit murder. That's impossible. No such person exists who could answer that question with such certainty. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth, who is this witness? Yes, go on, who is it? The man himself, Mr. Shelley DeKiller. Oh, Mr. the Killer. Wait! Shelly the Killer? You mean the killer? I mean, the assassin? Yes, Your Honor. He's coming here to the witness stand? Well, yes, in a manner of speaking. I recognize that this is a very unusual circumstance, so I ask for your permission. Well, Mr. Wright, yes? Is this all right with you? Do I have a choice here? I can't really do much else to drag this trial out. The defense has no objections, Your Honor. I wonder if it really is all right to do this. Very well then, the prosecution calls its witness to the stand. Edgeworth, is there no other way left to us? Now then, witness, your name and your, occupation, please. Very good, sir. My name is Shelly the Killer, and I am a professional assassin. I say! What is going on here? Your Honor? How could you remain so calm? And what is the meaning of this two-way radio? Actually, Your Honor, it was delivered to me just now, and it came with a condition. As long as we do not trace its source, Mr. the Killer will testify to this court. So this must be what that urgent phone call he got earlier was about. Oh no, this will not do. I cannot allow this in my court. First of all, we can't even be sure this is really Mr. the Killer himself. Witness, please present some sort of proof that you are in fact Shelly the Killer. I understand. Please wait a second. I'm so hungry. Maya! Maya! A voice! Mr. Wright, can you confirm anything from this? The defense has no objections to this person. We're satisfied that this man is indeed Shelly the Killer. It looks like we've run into yet another unexpected turn of events. Well, it doesn't seem like we have too many choices under these circumstances, so... Now then, witness, there's one thing I would like to confirm before we speak of anything else. And what would that be? At the request of a client, you killed Mr. Juan Corrida. Is this correct? It is as you say. I did indeed kill Mr. Corrida. Now that we have answered that, let's move on to the name of your client. Very well. This is all just a bad dream. Yes, that's it. A bad dream. Shelly the Killer. What is he going to say? About my client. There is something I must first state. To an assassin, nothing is more important than the trust between a client and himself. And that is the reason that I am here today on this witness stand. It's my wish that you grasp this concept before I give the name of my client. Mr. the Killer seems to be a very clever man. I'd almost say he seems to be mocking us. Well, he may appear to be our enemy, Your Honor. Mr. the Killer is only stating the truth. He is no hypocrite. He has always stood by this one belief. You mean about this trust between his clients and himself thing? Seems to be a level of trust beyond what people like me can comprehend. Well, Mr. Wright, are you ready to cross-examine the witness? Yes, Your Honor. There's no way to know what's coming next, so stay cool and collected, Phoenix. Oh yeah, stay cool and collected. Cool and collected. Cool and collected. We can hear anything you have to say later. Can you please just tell us your clients? I don't think you understand your place, Mr. Attorney. I said this is something I must first state. Do you know what the word first means? Sorry. Go on. Well, it appears that this is one witness you can't badger, Mr. Wright. That's only because you don't know about Maya's situation. The trust between you and your client. I provide my services in a fast and efficient manner. I just opened the evidence menu on accident. In exchange, I trust that my clients are discreet about me and my identity. If too many people knew my face, it would be quite troublesome. And that is why you're testifying in this manner? This is the first time one of my clients has ever been accused of murder. I must preserve the killer name so my clients can trust me. But couldn't someone stab you in the back and break your trust? It has never happened before, but if it ever did, yes? That person wouldn't be my client for very long. They would certainly. That's enough! Please, no more. Very well. It was only a hypothetical anyway. That seems a little strange to me. I mean, you're about to tell us the name of your client. I would think that this would be very bad for them. It doesn't matter to me. This client has already broken the rules and acted outside of their prescribed role. Their role? This person tried to implicate another of the crime in order to save themselves. And this is a trespass that cannot be forgiven. You. Who gave you the right to be so high and mighty? To the gentleman who spoke just now. Excuse me, but would you care to die? No, I didn't say anything. The judge had better watch himself. We understand, so please, tell us the name of your client. I'm afraid I cannot do that. I still have a few things to say before I do. Egomaniacal. It's not good for your health to be so aggravated. Do you want I just skipped that line? Oops. Somehow that coming from an assassin makes it feel less than comforting. I care about all this extra fluff. Just tell us the name already. Patience. Try to calm down a little. It's important to try and understand his mindset. He seems very steadfast and closed, so you're going to have to work to get him to talk. I'm not his therapist, you know. I think we had to press everything and then press this again, I think. Let's see, little strange client. Very bad for them, doesn't matter to me. Nope. One of these we have to press again. Oh, yeah, okay. You already said that your client had already broken the rules. The person who tries to frame another is the worst kind of human. And that's why you feel you can betray this person? I have no trust relation with a client who can't understand their assigned role. Just my luck. An assassin with a conscience. Who would have figured? Now then, everyone, do you think you can understand my logic? This case just keeps getting better and better. If you can't, then I'm afraid we can't proceed. Everyone understands your point, I think. Really? In that case, I believe I'm prepared to disclose the information you seek. You've made it crystal clear that you value trust over all else. I believe we are ready. Excellent. Now then, I do believe it's about time I revealed the name of my client. Don't you agree? What is it? Now I can't bring myself to ask the client's name. If you can't ask it, Mr. Wright, then I will. Witness. What is the name of your client who requested the murder of Mr. Juan Corrida? That person's name is... Adrian Andrews. What? Witness! That's not who you told me it was earlier. Pray tell, what are you talking about, Mr. Prosecutor? I should think I know my own client, and it's Adrian Andrews. What? This can't be on the phone earlier. What's going on here? My guess is that Mr. DeKiller just stabbed Mr. Edgeworth in the back. Stabbed Edgeworth in the back? I'm sure in order to get an audience at this court, Mr. DeKiller told him a different name. Matt Ungard, perhaps? I knew it. This is outrageous. I was deceived. This witness is telling a very serious lie. But you are the one who summoned this witness. You Shelley DeKiller. My testimony is the truth. The defendant at the moment is Matt Ungard. Am I correct? All I wish to do is help procure his acquittal. Wow. All of a sudden, it feels like we can actually win this. Yeah. The prosecution has failed to provide a motive and instead has provided this suicide note, which is a forgery created by the victim. Furthermore, there is a possibility the defendant himself knew it was a fake. But most definitive of all, we've heard from the assassin himself the name of his client. Mr. DeKiller's client who requested the murder was not the defendant at all. No. With all this evidence, it is obvious to me that Mr. Matt Ungard is innocent. I seem to have caused you all a bit of confusion. Please continue your discussion and call me when you have reached a verdict. Bailiff, please bring Miss Andrews immediately. What now? The way this is going, Unguard will be found innocent. This may be our last chance to save Maya. Yeah, but Edgeworth is right. The killer is lying. And Unguard, my client, I know he's guilty. Can I live with myself if I win this? Who would have believed that the prosecution's own witness would absolve the defendant? Your Honor, the prosecution requests permission to further question the witness. Surely the killer is certainly lying under oath. It wasn't me. Listen, everyone, please. That testimony just now, it was all one big lie. Miss Andrews, the suicide note may have been a fake, but that man, Matt, he's the reason Celeste died. And Juan's death was all because he got pulled into Matt's twisted world. That testimony just now, you have to believe me. It was a horrible, horrible lie. But Mr. the Killer himself has testified that he had named you as his client. No, that's not true. Also, there's quite a bit of evidence that points to you. The knife and the button donning the nickel samurai costume. But that's... You even have a motive. We know that Miss Celeste Impax was a large part of your life. You wanted to follow her, and you wanted to revenge against the two who had hurt her. I would say you have plenty of reasons to want them both dead. No! Mr. Wright! Do you know the truth? Tell them! Tell them the real story, who the real killer is! Tell them! Please! Help me! Yes, I know the truth. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. I believe we have reached the end of this trial. Therefore, I ask the defense for any final words or opinions. I have to decide. Do I take the not guilty verdict and save Maya? Or do I throw this chance away and wait for Gumshoe's new evidence? What am I supposed to do? Phoenix. I can't do it, Mia. I can't accept a not guilty. You are a lawyer. I know. But Matt Unguard is a killer, not a murderer. I can't let him get away with this. I can't let someone else take the fall. If I let Miss Andrews be convicted, I'm no better than Unguard. And even though I don't want to admit it, I have to face the fact. And it's because of Edgeworth that I now know the real truth. He could have gotten Unguard convicted so many times over, but he never took a single one of those chances. If I take this verdict right now, I'd be betraying his trust. His trust? I never thought about it until now. I trust him? Yes, you do. Mr. Wright, your opinion, please. The defense requests that we be allowed to further question Mr. the Killer. Am I hearing you correctly, Mr. Wright? Right. But that witness has cleared your client through his testimony. Your job here is done. I'm not done yet. To see through the witness's lies and find the truth. That is my job, Your Honor. There's still more evidence to look at. And I'm sure that once those pieces arrive here in this very courtroom, a miracle will occur. Very well, this trial will continue. Mr. Edgeworth, please reestablish connection with Mr. the Killer. Right away, Your Honor. Has a verdict been reached? Before that, we would like to talk with you a little more. About? All you needed from me was the name of my client. What else could you need me for? Well, actually, we would like to hear everything you know about this case. That is how things are unusually done. Usually done. What is he talking about? Usually done? But what shall we have him testify about now? Mr. the Killer, if you don't mind, please testify about your client in more detail. You legal people and your procedures. Is it any wonder why no one likes to go to court? About my client. Part 2. As I've already stated quite a few times, Adrian Andrews is my client. However, one thing I simply cannot overlook is tampering with the scene of the crime. My client did it to frame another for the crime. While pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the scene, Adrian Andrews already knew from the very beginning that Juan Carrita was dead. But even more appalling is the creation and planting of the knife and the button. That act is what I was referring to when I said my client had broken the rules. This is the most unexpected turn of events for the The fifth time now? However, this time, everything has finally been revealed. Just a second, Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? We still have the cross-examination to do. But you don't need to question testimony like this, do you, Mr. Wright? Your Honor, the defense will question the witness. As if I have a choice here. Huh? Why? What this witness has said is nothing but beneficial to the defense's case. You scrutinize this testimony, then I'll expose the lies in that so beneficial testimony, I suppose. I don't understand what's going on anymore. That makes two of us. Makes three of us. Makes three of us. What is it, Mr. Wright? If I press him the wrong way, it might raise suspicion on his end. I have to do something to waste more time. Witness, about requesting a hit. Yes. How much is your fee? I see you are also quite a dark-hearted man, Mr. Attorney. Huh? If you would like to talk business, we could do so after the trial. No, I'm not thinking of hiring Mr. Wright. Yes. You want to kill me. You want me dead, don't you? What? No, why would you think something like that, Your Honor? Guilty. Mr. Phoenix Wright, you are hereby declared guilty. Witness, let's continue. Why did you disclose the name of your client? They are your client, are they not? I think that most people wouldn't be able to overlook a person hiring another to kill. If I had a problem with such a thing, I wouldn't be very effective at my job. Yeah. Well, a change in occupation might be good for you. However, I will say this. Even though I am not the one that does the deed, my clients are always the real guilty party. That goes without saying, Mr. DeKiller. And their fate is to live with the knowledge of their guilt on their shoulders. However, my client this time thought that they could run away from their guilt. Are you talking about the button and the knife? Yes, and my business card. Oh, this card. So that no one has to waste their time, including the police, I always make it a point to make things as easy as possible. You try to make things easy? My business card makes it very easy to identify who carried out the service. He's pretty devoted to his work. But to disregard everything and go stab the deceased with a knife, and even hide my card from sight, that is something I cannot overlook. It's really hard to tell if he's being truthful or not without him being here. So you're saying most clients wouldn't do such a thing? That is correct. Usually most people try to create an alibi for themselves. You should use my services, Mr. Attorney. I would suggest for you to plan your alibi too. No, I already told you I have no intention of using your services, ever. Why does he keep looking at me like I'm the one on trial here? From the very beginning? That is correct. From before my client visited the room. For all my clients know precisely what the situation is at all times. I wonder if that's really true. That's odd. So why do you think your client did that? What do you mean by why? Well, fiddling around at the scene of the crime is pretty risky. Why would someone who has requested a murder go to the crime scene anyway? That is true. I assume it was probably done to frame Mr. Ungard. If that's the case, then why didn't the person just request that you do it? Sadly, that is not possible. Huh? My job is to kill. That is all. And to leave my business card behind, naturally. The business card is so my clients may escape blame. To protect them is my duty. Even if they say it's for revenge, setting someone else up to take your fall. And that's all you have to testify? Yes, and I pray that I will never be called to the stand again. Again? As in you plan to continue? I must, as I have yet to find a person to take my place and become the fourth successor. Actually, how would you like a new life, Mr. Attorney? Excuse me? No, I'm fine. Really? Are you really now? I wonder what kind of man the judge thinks I am now. What are you going to do now, Phoenix? All I can do now is expose the lies. That's true, however, you realize that you'll be very bad for our client, right? I'm so confused. The one thing I know for sure is I can't let this trial end yet. Thank you so much for taking the time to testify, Mr. DeKiller. What is the meaning of that attitude? When Adrian Andrews entered the victim's room, your client had no idea that Juan Carita had been murdered. But how do you know that? From this wine glass, Your Honor. The glass? Mr. DeKiller's supposed client thought Mr. Carita had only fainted, which is why this glass of tomato juice was poured for the victim. But isn't that just a part of Adrian Andrews' calculated plan? That is not possible, Your Honor. This glass bears the fingerprints of that person. Had this been planned, they would never have left their fingerprints behind. I see your point. Mr. Edwards, what is your opinion? Strangely enough, I had the same exact thought just now. Witness, how do you explain this strange phenomena? Isn't it a waste of time to ask about such a minor detail? It's not a very important point anyway, correct? I'm afraid you are mistaken. If Adrian Andrews really is your client as you claim, then your client should have had knowledge of Mr. Carita's death. If not, then that could only mean that Adrian Andrews was never your client at all. How strange. Yes? Why is it that the attorney is yet to raise an objection at this absurd situation? Phoenix, if the killer figures out what we're up to, we're in real trouble. Yeah, I know. Mr. Edgeworth, I'm surprised. You know you can't say things like that without any evidence. Sorry. Well, that was an awfully weak objection from the two of you. Anyway, I am positive there was a contradiction in that testimony. The prosecution requests further testimony concerning when the request was taken. Very well. Right now I have to buy us more time. While we wait for the items the killer left behind to get here. I just know that the very outcome of this trial lies with those items. Request taking. This request came to me, about a week ago. It was a request for my services on the night of the awards ceremony. We met at a certain bar to discuss and finalize a few matters. That is what occurred. I trust my memory and I believe I have made no mistakes. So you physically met your client, huh? That is correct. Meeting one's client is the first step to building trust, in my opinion. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Alright. 1 week ago? Are you sure? Yes, I am quite sure. I, of course, had my own preparations, and I was barely able to finish. When you request my services, Mr. Attorney, I hope you will keep that in mind. Please, stop! In any case, my client this time had a very specific date and time in mind. A specific date and time? Did you ask why on that specific night? No. I tried to fulfill all the conditions of my client's request, but as for why, I only had my suspicions. Your suspicions, huh? So what are these suspicions you had? Why did your client request that night? I'm sure it was all for the bear. The bear? My client spoke of it. I'm sure there will be a bear-shaped figurine in Juan Carita's room. I would like you to retrieve that item for me. He must be talking about this bear puzzle. Inside that figurine was a suicide note. Naturally, the victim brought it with him to his hotel room. He was planning to publicly disclose its contents at the press conference, after all. That is correct. And if I had not done the job that night, I would not have known where that bear figurine was. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance? I don't think so. What the killer said sounds plausible, but in the end, it's just his conjecture. No, Your Honor, I don't think it's very important. Well then, witness, please continue. So you physically met Adrian Andrews, right? Of course I did. What was that? What was with the brief pause? Witness, I would like for you to give us a few more details. I always meet my clients as a matter of principle. I've never taken a request by telephone or mail. Why is that? That's because I value the trust between a client and myself above all else. And the only way to establish that is to speak with the client while looking them in the eye. Well, Mr. Wright, was that testimony just now of any importance? Of course it was very important, Your Honor. If Mr. DeKiller had met his client before the murder, then it's unlikely he is mistaken. So you're saying that his client really was Adrian Andrews? I guess so. You see, it is just as I said. I'm so lost. Who the heck am I supposed to be helping here? Calm down, Phoenix. Think carefully and relax. Now then, would the witness please continue? So your client was Adrian Andrews. That is correct. Well, it says the two of them met. But if they did, then there shouldn't be anything wrong with the killer's testimony. Well, there doesn't seem to be anything strange about this time around. You have to draw more information from him, but you can't draw a suspicion. If you can do that, then you should be able to find a flaw somewhere in his testimony. Talk about a delicate balance. Let's add this information to the testimony. The testimony just now has made one thing clear, and that is that the client knew the secret of the bear figurine. Huh? Why is everyone so quiet? Mr. Wright, I think all of us already knew that. Oh, really? Witness, please continue with your testimony. A week ago, are you sure? So you physically met Adrian Andrews, correct? Of course I did. Was that just now a brief pause? Oh, why he meets the witness is not important. Witness, please stop sidestepping my questions. What do you mean by that? My question was, did you really meet Adrian Andrews in person? I've already told you, Mr. Wright. I did. It was only through talking with him face to face that I began to trust him. That's when I thought I could trust this person as a client. It's true that when they say it's true what they say about talking face to face. Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony of any importance? Yes, it was. If I heard what I think I heard just now, then I think I've got him. Your Honor, I believe the testimony just now was of the utmost importance. Huh? Really? If that's the case, witness, please include the statement just now in your testimony. Very well. Saw him. I would like to go over this one more time. You met Adrian Andrews at a bar and took the request at that time. Yes, that is correct. And that's when you thought he was trustworthy. How many times must I repeat myself? Yes, that is correct. I'm sorry, but that is an impossible tale. What? Shelley DeKiller. You've never met the real Adrian Andrews. Why would you say that? Because you made one very big slip-up. About her. So what is the issue? What did you say just now? About her? If you'd ever met Adrian Andrews in person, one look would have told you that she is a woman. Order in the court! Mr. Wright, what is the meaning of this? This witness testified to the following, that he always meets face to face with his clients when taking their requests. But he's never met Adrian Andrews in person. Yes, Your Honor, that is exactly the point. That means Mr. DeKiller's client could not have been Miss Adrian Andrews. Mr. Edgeworth, I understand your logic on this one. However, Why would the assassin make such a basic mistake? I believe it has to do with her name, Your Honor. Her name? Yes, Adrian Andrews is without a doubt a very androgynous name. Yes, I see. Unluckily for Mr. DeKiller, the entire time he was on the stand, no one had stated Adrian Andrews' gender, and so he simply picked the wrong gender to go with. What? What is going on? Shelley DeKiller, this court demands an explanation. I think somehow I must have mixed up this client with another. So does that mean you remember something differently now? Yes, of course. Please, if you would allow me to testify once more. I know he's just gonna spit out more lies. Very well, but this time please give us the truth and nothing but the truth. Yes, now I remember. I took that request by mail. There have been times when I took a job without having met my clients. The request was for the murder of Juan Carita and 2 or 3 other small things. When I saw the name at the end of the letter, I thought my client to be a man. So you took this job through a letter. He didn't mention anything about a letter in his earlier testimony, which means he's definitely lying. Be careful, Phoenix. If you break the assassin's testimony completely, it's over for us. I know, I can't make him suspicious, but I think we're okay. Like, we can do this. As long as he's standing there across from me. No matter how strong of a punch I throw, he'll counter it. Now then, let's begin the cross-examination. But didn't you just say that you always meet your clients? Yes, I suppose I did say that. However, there are some clients for whom a meeting is simply not possible. But didn't you meet your client this time? No, I did not. Oh, come now, let's stop with this game of cat and mouse. Using your silkiest voice is not going to work on me. Alright then, just cough it up and confess. Mr. Wright, you can't badger a witness with such harsh words. You're a lawyer, so behave like one and present evidence instead of mindlessly yelling. Now then, do you have any proof that Mr. DeKiller met with his client? I don't think I do. I'm sorry, Your Honor, but unfortunately I don't have any proof. I see. And your line of questioning was just another waste of time. Sadly for us, Your Honor, that is the nature of right and wrong. And why could you not meet certain clients? Recently, I've been receiving more requests. If I met each and every client, I would lose some nice business opportunities. Nice business opportunities? On top of which, the times have changed. It is now the age of information and computers, correct? Well, I have joined the times and now take requests via electronic mail. Electronic mail? Do you have to mail that in a special insulated envelope? I'm very sorry. I despise the shortening of words. What I meant by electronic mail was commonly referred to as email. Email? In a contest of mimicry, the judge would beat a parrot hands down. Anyway, so you took this job without having met your client, and 2 or 3 other things? Yes. And what were these other things? A few other things that have nothing to do with this case. What should I do? Should I let him slide with that? It'd be really bad if I pushed his buttons the wrong way and he got mad. Whether or not they're related to this case is for the court to decide. Mr. Attorney. Yes? Everything I have said from the beginning has been nothing but beneficial to your client, which is why I wonder what is pushing you to continue with this cross-examination. Could it be that you are planning to betray your own client? That's... I smell the stench of a backstabber. And should you turn out to be one? Wait! Uh-oh, this is looking really bad. I shouldn't press my luck. Alright, I have to think. Is this worth pursuing? Witness, this is a very important matter. Please cooperate and tell us what these other jobs your client requested were. If it's truly that important, I suppose I don't have much of a choice. The bear figurine. The bear figurine? After the assassination of the target, I was to find that figurine. I was told that this job was just as important as the actual killing. And where was that figurine? It was inside Mr. Carita's suitcase. And then, what did you do next? I handed it over to my client right away. You gave it to your client? Interesting. This information certainly sounds important to me. Witness, please include what you just stated in your testimony. As you wish. That's it. Shelly the killer. If you had really given the bear to Miss Andrews, then this item should not have been inside it. This item? I see where you're going. Yep, that's where I'm going. Where is everyone going? Do I need to pack a suitcase? Your Honor, please think back to Miss Andrews' testimony. And I was going to burn it, for her sake. If even for a single minute, this bear had actually been in Miss Andrews' hands, I'm sure she would have taken the suicide note out and burned it! Order, order, order! So that's where you two were going. So by the very fact that the suicide note was still inside the bear, it tells us that your client didn't know how to disassemble the puzzle. Which means... It means, Your Honor, that it is impossible for Miss Andrews to have been the client. Oh! Order, order, order! Mr. Phoenix Wright. I'm sure I mentioned this before, how I hate traitors above all else. I think your cross-examination has clearly demonstrated something to me. You must wish to break your end of our agreement. No, that's enough. If that is your intention, then there's only one thing for me to do. Wait, please! Gentlemen, ladies, please excuse me. I have a matter that I must attend to. No, please, not that. Please, wait. Mr. Attorney, bring the trial to a speedy end and I may stay my hand. Otherwise... What in the... Mr. Wright, are you... Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. I didn't understand this witness's outburst just now. Do you think there's a need to hear more testimony, or is this enough? Well, we should... Edgeworth, we can't do this! If we keep this up, Maya... Chill... the prosecution... What has come over everyone? Even you are... The prosecution... rests. What is going on around here? The prosecution has no further questions, Your Honor. What? Well, I never thought I'd see the day. This is a most unusual situation. The prosecution rests with no further questions. Then, the prosecution has failed to uphold its stance. If that is the case, then even though I am reluctant, I must believe that Mr. DeKiller's testimony is accurate. That would mean that Shelly DeKiller's client is Adrian Andrews. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. If I end this trial here, right now, then your client, Matt Ungard, would be declared innocent. And in his place, Adrian Andrews would be charged with murder. Miss Andrews would be charged with murder. The prosecution has no further questions, so we will now hear the defense's final remarks. Bailiff, please bring the defendant, Matt Ungard, to the stand. The items from DeKiller's hideout didn't make it in time. We tried as hard as we could, but it looks like our time has run out. I can't believe it. The outcome now lies in your hands. Dude, did the old guy finally decide? To be honest, I can't think of you as a truly innocent and good person. You've done enough evil to drive a woman to suicide. But, at least on the charge of murder, it would appear that you are innocent. So, I guess even the old fuddy-duddy figured me out. Mr. Ungard, what an atrocious lawyer I have, giving his own client up like that. And that refreshing like the spring breeze crap. It's just atrocious, don't you agree? Anyway, get on with it and pronounce me innocent already. Right, Mr. Lawyer? Should I side with justice? Or should I save Maya's life? You better get Ungard a guilty sentence, okay? But if I did that, Maya will die! But if I say he's innocent, then Miss Andrews will be charged as the murderer. Do I say he's guilty or not guilty? Either choice I make, someone's life is going to end. It all hinges on what I choose. Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear the defense's final statements on this matter. If the person who hired the assassin was Adrian Andrews, then your client, Mr. Matt Ungard, is innocent. There's no need to ask, old man. After all, my lawyer is going to say what I want. Aren't you? Right. I can't do this. But I have to decide something. I can't count on the evidence to help me anymore. I have to listen to my heart. My client, Matt Ungard, is... We're waiting for your answer, Mr. Wright. Matt Ungard, your client deserves an answer. Maya, I'm sorry. Matt Ungard is...
Objection!
Francisca von Karma! What are you doing here? Ow! You see now, don't you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? This is exactly how you should never take your eyes off of that scruffy fool. Did you bring them? The final pieces, do you have them? You should know better than to ask that, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. Von Karma is perfect in every way. The evidence here is in perfect condition. Don't worry about Scruffy, he's fine and his injuries are minor. All the items are inside this. What a filthy old coat this is. That's Gumshoes. I can spot his tattered rags anywhere. I apologize for its ugliness, but there was nothing else to wrap these items in. I fought long and hard this whole trial. All for what is inside that raggedy coat. I'm sure that inside that coat lies a crucial piece of evidence. Your Honor, inside that filthy coat are the defense's final pieces of evidence. Your final evidence? This trial is already over. All that remains is for me to hand down my verdict. I do not believe that any evidence presented now would change the outcome of this trial. What? Your Honor, it is our duty to examine every piece of evidence down to the last. I request that Miss Von Karma be allowed to present these pieces of evidence. I suppose you are right, Mr. Edgeworth. I grant permission to do so. However, this one obvious rule applies here. If these items do not bring up any new points, then they will not be accepted by this court. Now, Miss Von Karma, if you please. These pieces of evidence are items left by the killer during his escape from the police. He must have been in quite a rush. Yes, Your Honor. The killer left 3 pieces of evidence. Somewhere among the evidence we're about to see, there'll be something that will turn this whole situation around like a miracle. I'm sure of it. That's all we can hope for. The first item is a pistol. Does the killer's pistol have anything to do with this case? I'm pretty sure there's no gun involved in this case. There's no real benefit to hearing about it. Please present the next piece of evidence. The second piece of evidence is this videotape. I bet the killer took that from Ungard Mansion. Have you checked the contents of that tape? Unfortunately, there was no time to. Oh yeah. But I would speculate that this tape is very important. Why would you say that? Because he came back to his hideout for it. Did the killer went back for it? That's right. It looks like he was trying to recover it. He injured 3 of the officers at the site. But somehow it looks like they managed to protect it from the killer. Surely the killer is no ordinary man. The last piece of evidence is this bellboy's uniform. Is that uniform at the Gatewater Hotel? I don't think this is going to help us much at all. Thank you very much, Miss Von Karma. I think that's enough. That is all I have to present, Your Honor. It's just as I thought. And what is that, Your Honor? I'm sure we were under more normal circumstances. These items from Shelley the Killer's hideout would be very important clues. However, our question is not who did the killing. It is who is the client. Yes, that is correct. And these 3 items do not tell us anything about that. Thank you for your hard work, Miss Von Karma. You may now step down. Wait, Your Honor! Please allow me to examine this new evidence. Overruled. This court already has all the evidence it needs to hand down a verdict. Wonderful, absolutely splendid. This judge is such a brilliant man, isn't he? Is this the end? Phoenix, I knew it. There's no such thing as a miracle in this world, is there? I think you're wrong. I think they do exist. But you have to make that miracle happen. You've come this far. You can't give up now. But no matter how you think about it, it's... Try. For my sake. Just think about it for a second. There are two ways out of this situation for us. Two? The first... Make Ungard wish from the bottom of his soul for a guilty verdict. Huh? The killer will always place his client's wishes first. If Ungard himself wishes to be convicted, then he will let his hostage go. That may be true, but that's asking me to do the impossible. The second way... Force the killer to end his contract with Ungard. If the killer were no longer to think of Ungard as his client, then he would let Maya go. Yeah, that's even more impossible. He's a man who values his duty towards his client above all else. I know both of these seem like impossible feats at first, but if you could make either one happen, it would truly be a miracle. The bigger problem is the judge has already said he doesn't need any more evidence. The pieces he was just shown, he's not accepting them. Phoenix, think things through from the other side. Isn't that what has always worked for us? The other side? Wait, does she mean... You mean to turn things around? Phoenix, the judge says he doesn't need the evidence. If that's the case, then who does need it? The person who needs the evidence? The defense, prosecution, and the judge. We've seen all the pieces of evidence. And that is how we've come to know the truth. But there is one person who has yet to see them all. That person does not know the truth. That truth, it may be what will bring about the miracle in the end. There are no objections this time, correct? Now then, I will pronounce my verdict. Why don't we all respectfully sit back and listen, kids? I have already told you, Mr. Wright, this court does not need any more evidence. I'm not saying that it's us that needs the evidence, Your Honor. Then you want to show the evidence to that person? Yes, Your Honor. Please, Your Honor, Mr. Wright, for you to ask with such passion. I will grant you one chance. What? One chance. Please show your evidence to who you think is the right person. That's impossible. To turn this situation around in one try. One try. That is all I will permit. I have to try to remember everything that has happened up to this point. Think, Phoenix, think! There must be a way to save Maya while taking Ungard down at the same time. Now then, Mr. Wright, let's not waste any more time. Who would you like to show the evidence to? I see. And now, tell this court what one piece of evidence you would like to show this person. Well, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth? I think there is some merit in showing this evidence to that witness. Bailiff, please bring in the transceiver from earlier. Alright, it looks like I managed to convince him. Maya, she's okay, right? Didn't I tell you to concern yourself with bringing about a speedy end to this trial? Now, if I understand correctly, you wish to show me one piece of evidence. Yes, one is all I need. I have here a videotape. It was found at your hideout. I heard you injured 3 officers in your attempt to get this back. That was most regrettable. However, it was an order from my client. I was told to protect that videotape. I thought so. I'm afraid I seem to have failed in that regard. Do you know the contents of this tape? I was sternly told by my client to not watch it, so I have absolutely no idea. Actually, you are on this tape. Me? There was a video camera hidden at the crime scene. Your actions were being recorded. What? Is that true? Mr. Wright! Who was it that planted a camera? Well, the only person who could have placed a camera at the scene of the crime would be your client, naturally. That was Adrian Andrews. Be quiet and listen, Your Honor. Yes, sir. Your client specified a place and time for you, isn't that right? Yes. That was so they could film you. I had no idea. Mr. Wright, why would my client do such a thing? I would like to know why. Why did Matt on guard film the crime scene? The reason why he did that is my ticket out of this whole mess. There's only one reason why your client would secretly film the crime scene. Your client once told me something very interesting. We were talking about you, and this is what they said. But I'm no weakling. I don't believe anyone, least of all assassins. Oh, come now, Mr. Wright. Assassins aren't above blackmail. Yes, that's where the video comes in. With that, I could keep him at bay and even blackmail him if I want. Your client didn't trust you at all. They were thinking of using this video to blackmail you. What do you have to say to that, Shelley the Killer? It looks like I was being deceived from the very beginning. Yes, by a natural. That is the kind of person they are. Your client is a person who only thinks and plots of how to use the people around them to protect themselves from any and all dangers that may arise. That is the true nature of your client. I have one question for the witness. Yes. You told us one thing numerous times during your testimony. You said that you detest traitors most of all. Yes, that's right. But what if that traitor was your own client? What would you do then? That's obvious. I would break our contract in that case. And then, that client would become my next target. For the honor of the killer name, even if it takes an eternity, I would follow that person to the ends of the earth to exact my punishment. I see. That's all I wanted to know. So the traitor becomes the killer's next target. I get it! This is how we'll turn this case around. Mr. Wright. Yes? My contract with my client is over as of now. I seem to have a new job on my hands. I will now return to you your precious item. What the? I'm not an item! Maya! I thought I'd never see you again. Oh, thank goodness. This trial appears to have come to its conclusion. However, I don't quite know what just happened there with the client and the witness and... Miss Von Karma, where did that... She always has you in her sights. Now, I do believe it's time to finally hand down a verdict. Mr. On Guard, it looks like somehow you got what you wanted. You will finally receive the acquittal you wanted so badly. You should be happy. But before that, I would like to make one final statement. Sometime in the near future, one very betrayed assassin may appear before you. Needless to say, that man is very good at what he does. I'm sure you would understand what I mean if you watched this video. Help me. Now then, Your Honor, the verdict, if you please. Is this all right with you, Mr. Wright? We have finally reached the end of a very long battle. Whether he's convicted or acquitted, there is no escape for him now. Go on, Phoenix. Plead whichever way your heart tells you. Right, Chief. Congratulations, Mr. On Guard. Please make sure to savor every moment of what little time you have left. Your Honor, as always, the defense pleads not guilty. Very well. This court finds the defendant, Matt On Guard. Please, wait! What's the matter? If I get a not guilty, I'll be killed. I'm... No! Guilty! As always, it looks like we have uncovered the real truth. We? I don't remember you helping out much in this. Mr. Edgeworth, how is Matt Ungard? I have left Miss Von Karma in charge of his incarceration. I'm sure he's getting a full-course meal of whip leather right about now. Very good. That was a close one, wasn't it, witness? Yes. I plan to pay my debt to society for my own crime, Your Honor. The first time I was called to the witness stand during this trial, all I felt was despair. She must be talking about the time Edgeworth really went after her. I guess she's trying to forgive him for what he did. This witness, how should I put this? She has an illness. If you're going to say that you would choose death, that is of no concern to me. But after that, when I was alone at the detention center, that's the first time I really saw myself for who I am. And today, when the two of you use your combined strength to convict Matt, I felt like I had been finally saved. Wow, this is the first time I've ever seen her smile. I'm really happy that you two were in charge of this case. I really don't know how to express how I feel at this moment. This is the first time I felt comfortable with myself, with who I am. Thank you so much, everyone. It looks like we have resolved everything at last. As for myself, there are still a few things I'm confused about, but everyone seems to be in good spirits. And that is good enough for me. That is all. This court is adjourned. You were great out there, Phoenix. What I did out there was right, wasn't it? This is the first time you've not gotten your client off. You got them a guilty verdict this time, but you have to look past all of that to what's really important. You now realize that there is something more than just getting a not guilty, right? Yes, I understand now. Phoenix, think back for a second. Think to the moments before Miss Von Karma arrived with the final pieces of evidence. Think about the incredible decision you had to make. Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear the defense's final statements on this matter. I can't count on the evidence to help me anymore. I have to listen to my heart. Should I side with justice, or should I save Maya's life? My client, Matt Ungard, is he guilty, or is he not guilty? Those were your choices then, and your answer spoke to be what being a lawyer means to you. Right! To Edgeworth! I have good news. Maya's now safe in police custody. Really? The pearls! You're telling us the truth, right, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, she's quite safe. She's on her way here as we speak in a patrol car. Mystic Maya! Mystic Maya's safe! You did it! You really did it, Mr. Nick! Ow! She punches deceptively hard for a kid. I believed in you. I kept saying to myself, Mr. Nick will save her. Mr. Nick will save her. Thanks. Oh, what's wrong? Miss Von Karma. About earlier. Thanks. Ow! Why are you still smiling, Mr. Phoenix Wright? You lost! Your perfect win record has now been crushed! And yet you are still happy? I don't think you'll ever understand, Miss Von Karma. How dare you? Don't worry. She may in time. After all, I was like that myself until a year ago. Edgeworth? For my own personal victories and for guilty verdicts. I used every dirty trick in the book, and so my win record remained spotless. But a man who appeared and stood fast against that selfish me. I fought him in my usual manner and tasted my first defeat. I felt like I had lost everything because of that. And then it was my turn to sit in the defendant's chair. And I was saved by that person I called my enemy. I couldn't forgive myself for all that had happened. So I left the prosecutor's office. And I left that note. Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth chooses death. As well you should have. A prosecutor is ashamed himself with defeat should crawl into a hole and die. But that was not what happened. After I left the prosecutor's office, I finally came to realize something. And it was in that moment of clarity that everything began to change. What foolish nonsense. We prosecutors use anything we can to attack the defendant. But every time we did so, no matter how desperate the situation, instead of giving up like most people, that man would hold strong with his undying faith. And then before I knew it, I began to trust in that man as well. What? You trusted your enemy? It doesn't matter how many underhanded tricks a person uses, the truth will always find a way to make itself known. The only thing we can do is fight with the knowledge we hold in everything we have. Erasing the paradoxes one by one. It's never easy. We claw and scratch for every inch. But we will always, eventually, reach that one single truth. This, I promise you. The truth. Yes, that's the reason why prosecutors and defense attorneys exist. But I'm sure you knew that already, didn't you, Wright? That's why you couldn't forgive me. This man who went into hiding. Isn't that right? This man who only had his sights set on victory. Who ran away into the night. Ah! Is Mr. Edgeworth right, Mr. Nick? You really let me down. When you disappeared, I felt betrayed. The reason I decided to become a lawyer to begin with was because I believed in the things that you said to me. All those years ago. And you betrayed your own words. That's why, 1 year ago, I made up my mind. I decided that the Miles Edgeworth I knew had died. At least that's what I told myself. You pathetic fool! Miss Von Karma! I don't want to hear the wretched whimpering of a disgraced loser. Von Karma is someone who is destined to be perfect. Miles Edgeworth, you are no longer worthy. You are no longer worthy of being a Von Karma. And neither am I. It's over. It's all over. Francisca threw something on the ground just now. This is an electromagnetic receiver. Isn't that the thing she used to track Detective Gumshoe? I'll return this to the precinct later. There's something else. Ah! Is it that Miss Von Karma's whip? I'll never set foot in another courtroom again. I'm sure that's what she's saying by this action. You should keep this, Wright. Okay. Nick! Maya! Mr. Maya! Mr. Maya! Oh, Nick, I knew you would come through. You got on guard convicted like I knew you would. And on top of that, you even rescued me. Well, of course I did. You know I would never desert you. We sure pressed our luck this trial. You're really lucky to be standing here. Ah, whatever. Look, it's over, okay? Besides, if I did croak, I would just come back and haunt you like a bad ghost or Pearly. Is it really that easy to do something like that? Thanks a lot, Nick. Don't mention it. Maya? Oh, Mr. Edgeworth! I'm relieved you're alright. Hey, it looks like you've made some real progress, Mr. Edgeworth. Well, I suppose I'm a little different from who I was a year ago. Alright. I think it's time we got out of this depressing place. Huh? Where are we going? Food, Nick! Food! Grub! Chow! I'm starved! I'm so hungry, even you look like a nice juicy burger on a bun to me, Nick! You think I look like a burger? I'm a prime rib at least! Come with us, Mr. Edgeworth, please! If you insist. Alright, so how about we hit up our usual burger joint? Don't be silly, Nick. Huh? This case messed up that awesome evening and got in the way of my gourmet food. So I've decided that we have to make up for it by having another feast. Another feast? Come on, Nick, food! March 23rd, 7:38 p.m. Gatewater Hotel. Hotel lobby. Hey, pal, sorry to keep you guys waiting. Gumshoe, are you alright? Yeah, but I'm really embarrassed. I didn't think I would hit a telephone pole of all things. A telephone pole? And it wasn't a red light that got him. You did it again, city boy. I felt like my dear old heart was gonna give out on me, and I ain't joking. Yeah, it was more exciting than the very last episode of The Steel Samurai. Thanks. Now looky here, Mr. Snooty Prosecutor. Don't you reckon you bullied Mr. Wright too hard? You don't start being a lot nicer to him. He might just kick it. He might just kick it. Tonight even. I'll keep that in mind. Well, come on now. Everyone gather around. Y'all gonna get your picture taken by a genuine professional photographer. Looks like Lotta bought herself a new camera. Well, pal, at least we can put this messy case behind us now. Come on, tonight's all about eating, so let's go chow down, pal. Amen to that, pal. Amen. You know, when you think about it, you were the one who saved the day, Detective. Me? You really think so? He's right. If it wasn't for the three items you took, I think this trial would have had a very different ending. Ah, well, you know, it's... Huh? Wait, that's odd. When I ran off with the things from the killer's hideout, I was sure I took 4 things in total, sir. What? 4? Yeah, I'm sure I put one of the items in my coat pocket. There was a 4th item? Oh, come on, y'all, it's over. But whoo, boy, I tell you, you all are really something else. Between getting accused of murder and getting a kidnapping, never a dull moment with you, huh? You think? Why does she look so happy about that? Being shut away for 2 whole days, weren't you scared? Yeah, it was really scary. I felt so hopeless. So to keep my mind off things, I drew a picture. Sounds like you had it rough, gal. So where's this picture of yours? Yeah, I want to see it. I want to see Mystic Maya's picture. You know, I don't know where it went. Aw, that's too bad. Well, it's alright. It wasn't anything important anyway. Sure is nice to finally see them both smiling again. What is it, Edgeworth? This thing is picking something up. That's Miss Von Karma's receiver! Thanks to her, I had the most awful experience of my life, sir. And I can't believe she stuck a tracking device on me. That's odd. Even though you're standing right here, the tracking device seems to be in a different location. Oh, it's probably busted or something, sir. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm afraid it's about time for me to excuse myself. I still have some work to do. Oh, but Mr. Edgeworth, you haven't even eaten anything yet. And you've eaten way too much, you glutton. I had fun tonight. Now, if you'll excuse me. Wait. What? I just want to say thanks, Edgeworth. You really saved me out there. If anyone should be saying thanks, it should be me, right? I feel like words alone aren't enough here. I wonder if there's anything I can give him to express how I feel. What's this? Thank you. It's all thanks to you two. You and her. You don't need to thank me. I was only doing my job. It looks like Mr. Edgeworth is left, Mr. Nick. Hey, Mystic Maya! Yes, Pearly? I guess you two could go back to being lovey-dovey, right? You and Mr. Nick, I mean. Pearly! Would you cut it out already? You're embarrassing me! Anyway, so who's paying for this lovely dinner party? As if you need to ask. Everyone say thank you to Nick! Huh? Yeah, I'm kinda at the point where I can't even buy instant noodles, pal. So I kinda already put your name on the bill. Huh? Yeah, I got me a situation just like that myself. There's this camera shop in this hotel, you see, and I just bought myself this good old beauty here. It better be anyhow for $3,000. Huh? Actually, I reckon you bought it for me since it's on your tab and all. Huh? Isn't this great, Mr. Nick? Yeah, Nick. Why do I suddenly feel like screaming? Aw, you don't need to hold back now, you hear? Yeah, pal, time to let it all out.
This is going to be the first time I hear the real you.
Go on, it's been a while since I heard you say it. I've been busy being a hostage and all. Alright then, if you say so. And that is the end! But I still have to read all the credit dialogue. I really have to pee. Ugh. You really came through for me, Nick. I had to hide that letter, but I knew you'd find it. I really feel like I've been living on the edge lately. I mean, I've escaped death 3 times now. Pretty cool, huh? I feel like a pro. Hey, it won't be the last time, Maya. Spoilers. It's a good game. Not as good as the first one, but it's a good game. I'm so happy that you could save Mystic Maya, Mr. Nick, and I'm so happy for the 2 of you. Speaking of which, I think this hotel is a popular place for honeymooners, so I sort of made reservations for the 2 of you, just in case. Oh, Pearly. This might be the longest video of the LP, an hour 16, and we're still going. Well, pal, it looks like I'm back on the force again. Mr. Edgeworth had a long talk with the chief, and he got me reinstated for my sake. I already said things like, letting that one go is bad for all of society. I knew it. Crashing headlong into everything is the only way to live, pal. I'm Maggie Bird and retiring this uniform as of today, sir. I'm going to be a waitress from now on. And bring smiles of joy to the people who come by the restaurant, sir. I hope you'll stop by sometime, Mr. Wright. I'll save my full... oh, God. Yes, are you here to visit a patient? I'm Director Honey. Recently, yes, that girl, you know. I haven't seen her around. Yes. But I remember, if I even laid so much as an eye on her, it would go clack. It didn't matter if I got whipped, though. Yes. Oh. God, get me away from him. Oh boy. It's time to begin our quest in the world of circus domination, sweetie, and to let the world know we are serious, I plan to make a fabulous flight to Zimbabwe. Hey Max, what do you think Zimbabwe is like? Do you think like there are castles made of cake? And bunnies who can talk? I think if there are any talking bunnies, even they won't laugh at Mo's jokes. I'm ready. There's no way these jokes are gonna fall on deaf ears. I'm gonna be more contemporary with my humor. Mo Curls represent. We got our new act all worked out. Prepare for the Hallelujah chorus. Say something, will ya? You're supposed to start this off. Get on with it. Okay, get me out of the circus, please. What's this? Drat, it's just an ordinary electric razor charger on its stand. I can't believe this, really. How long do they plan on making me do this? But it's Edgy Poo's idea, so that means it must be have a deep hidden meaning. But why do I get the feeling they wouldn't forget about me, would they? I was never like this in the old days. Everyone thought the world of me. They used to call me the Queen Wendy. Treat me like all the other everybody. You're a bird. Speak your bird. Play with fire very dangerous because after 6 lessons. Okay. I appreciate everything you and Mr. Edgeworth did for me from the bottom of my heart. Oh, that's right. I received a letter from Miss Von Karma. She said that after I get out, I should feel free to consult her about anything at all. I'm really thankful to have met everyone. Is that everyone? Might be everyone. Oh. It has become difficult for me in this country as of late. As such, I will take a short leave of absence. If you would like to request my services, please be sure to visit my homepage. May we both be blessed with longevity. Okay. That's everyone. He's gotta be the last one. March 23rd, 9:42 p.m. International departures, Gate 12. Where are you going, Franziska? How did you know I was here? With this? That's... I heard you were planting things on a certain person. Things like tracking devices in his coat, for example. That's just like you. I only planted it there because he was always wearing it. This filthy drab of a coat. I don't know how it ended up in my luggage, but it's going in the trash, I promise you that. Oh, that's right. Speaking of that man, he told me something very interesting. When I ran off with the things from the killer's hideout, I was sure I took 4 things in total, sir. 4 things? Seems he put the last one in his coat pocket. He put it in here? It doesn't matter anymore. The case is already over. What are you going to do now? That's none of your business. Are you running away? Shut up! You don't understand a thing. You can't possibly understand what it means to be Manfred von Karma's daughter. Franziska. So many expectations from everyone around me. Expectations I must fulfill. I'm expected to win no matter what. And failure? Such a thing is not an option for me. My father was a genius. There's no doubt about that. But me? I'm no genius. I've always known that. But I had to be the one. I had to. You may not be a genius like your father, but you are a prosecutor. You have been and you always will be. No, I'm not. Not anymore. I've even thrown my whip away. Speaking of that, Wright gave me this to hold on to. Right. You knew something like this would happen, didn't you? I'm going to say this again. We prosecutors do not fight for personal honor or pride. I hope you will think deeply about what you should be striking down with that whip. You haven't changed a bit. You've always left me alone and walked on ahead without me. Miles Edgeworth, I've always hated you. And then finally my chance to take my revenge on you arrived. I could win against that man if I could make Phoenix Wright bow down in defeat. Then this girl you left behind would have risen higher than you. That was supposed to be my revenge. I see. You know, I can't do it. I can't change who I am. I can't throw everything away and spend until today. I believe you can. Just like how Adrian Andrews did. Adrian Andrews? You were going to use her during the trial, right? But you were dependent on your father by using his tactics. Isn't that right? Today you chased after me, after I had left you behind all these years. And that's why we're standing here now, side by side. But I have no intention of stopping. If you say you're going to quit your walk down the prosecutor's path, then this will be where we part ways, Franziska von Karma. I am Franziska von Karma. Don't think I'm going to walk in your shadow forever. Our battle begins now, so you better prepare yourself, Miles Edgeworth. Phoenix Wright. One day, someday, I'm sure we'll meet again in battle. Until then, this last piece of evidence that never made it to you, I'll take good care of this 4th piece, so I can give it to you when at last we meet again.